golfers. Mike Durow in Naples, Florida. Been teaching this game for almost 40 years now, if you can believe that. Wow. It comes back to chipping. They say those who love to chip love the game. So, and I played a couple days ago with some good players, and they couldn't chip. Somehow they were 6 handicappers, but they were only good if they hit every green, because when they had this little chip shot, it drove them crazy, and they weren't very good at it. So let's try to make you a better chipper today. Let's clear it up for you. All you really have to do in chipping is get that dang ball on the club face where you want every time. Sounds simple, doesn't it? The simplest method of doing that is to basically have one method. They call it the Y shape because it's a pretty straight line down your left arm down the shaft. Your right arm comes in, looks like a letter Y. But the main thing, you have to return to the ball with your hands a little bit in front every time and contact the ground the way you want. I put this line right here. I'm going to call it the bottom line, and your club has to come down and scratch the line every time. And you don't want your hands, the club to pass your hands or your hands get too far. My biggest tip for you today is to know this. Stay tall, so tilt, but tilt and stay tall. A lot of players on chipping will bend way over, and you'll see the top of their heads. When they do that, they can't use gravity, because if you bend over too far, watch what happens when I let my arms go. So my arms are too long then, so stay so tall. Paul Runyon said it. He used to bend his arms actually, but his phrase was measure the ground and keep your arms the same so you never have to worry about chunking it or anything like that. It's that doubt where you know if you're afraid of sculling it or chunking it, then your confidence goes and you get quick and nervous and you'll pinch it like that. Okay, so tilt tall, hang your arms, and I would ask you to connect and understand how your arms and body are connected right here, the length of them. Some people suck them in a little bit, some people hang them long, but know how you like yours so that when you swing it and bring it, you can touch the ground every time. What I need you to know is that you could close your eyes, swing it back, bring your legs, I say bring it with your legs a little, and that you know that the club is going to touch bottom. It should be a gravity thing. It's like this, what goes back will go up. Now in chipping it doesn't go up in the air, okay? If it goes up in the air, you've bent your elbows and wrists, and that's called a pitch. So let's clarify that. A pitch is when it goes back and up and down and up, but a chip is when it goes back with the arms and shoulders, very little wrist. You can have a little bit, believe me, but not a lot. So a little bit of wrist and then pinch the ground. What club should you use? Well, it's just a matter of loft. That's 54 degrees. I step on my 60 degree, that's 60. Here's my pitching wedge, right about there. So I have these different lofts, there they go. So if I stand on my club, that's kind of the loft. So I have one method, and I get 4 different lofts. But your main thing you got to get good at is understanding that your club is going to pinch the ground. So in pinching the ground, your shaft has to be in front, your grip will be in front, they say your hands will be in front. Okay, grip to your hip on a chip is a good way to remember it. Grip to your hip on a chip, lean it, and then return the lean. Now, see how it's got the same lean of the shaft? Now, how I do that is my power source is my, Ken Venturi and Hogan say is your right knee, because see that right knee drive? And in fact, my knee will get across that tape before my hands. So watch this. There. See, my knee got there right before my hands. My hands are next. There's my hands got across. And the last thing to come down will be club head. Okay? Don't try to turn your upper body. Just take the club straight back with your arms and shoulders and then bring your knee. Sure, your chest will go through, but why it went through is not chest. It went through because it's connected to my legs. There you go. So my chest will come through, but it comes through because of my legs. So here goes. Ball is on the bottom. I'm going to chip one. I put my hands forward that far. I try to stay pretty tall. I actually like to have my chin up a little bit so that when I swing and chip, I can chip the ball. Okay? The club should finish low. What they mean by that is if your hands stay in front, the club will stay low. See how low the club is? If the club passes your hands, it goes up in the air. So if you keep your hands in the lead, the club will finish low. That's a good sign. Imagine someone standing there with a club and you can't go up in the air. You'll hit that club. The other way that your wrist won't break down is if your leg leads. Okay, if your leg doesn't lead, watch what happens. See, all of a sudden your head will go down and your pivot won't look good. So I tell people, know the height of your pivot. That's your lead leg. It doesn't have to do very much, by the way. Watch, it does very little. I swing back, and all I do is move into a hip. But watch this player with a bad left leg. Okay, if that leg doesn't know how it wants to stand there, it'll look terrible. So watch this chip again. I go back. How was my lead hip height? And you go, normal. By the way, it's not popped long and it's not bent, it's just normal. It's a nice post. So I go back and I chip it. There it was. Okay, when you're confident, how do you get confident? How do you do that? You rehearse the shot a few times like the pros do, and they get confident in how hard they're going to go. So there's a flag right there, and they go, I'm going to go about this hard. And they say it again, I'm going to go about this hard. Then they have to step up to the shot and perform it. So they step up, they convince themselves that's how hard I'm going to go, and they go this hard. Okay? And that's how they hit the shot. Okay, so they have to have confidence in it. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you ever go to the inside in chipping, that's kind of the death move. Because if your club goes inside of your hands, you now have to fix it, and we don't have time to fix it in a chip. So if anything, the club should stay that side of your hands, but never behind your hands. So that means behind that line. Okay, so take it straight back, it'll drop down better, it'll pinch the ball better. This is a little case of ball bottom, which means the club comes down, it contacts the ground right under the ball, then it hits a little bottom. Of course, you don't want to stab it in the ground like that, but that's I call that a karate chop chip. Players will go like this and go chop. Now, it's not pretty, but at least it pinches down, chop, and the ball will go up. So even though that chops into the ground, but at least if you get ball first, at least it'll go up. It's better than sculling it. Okay, but you want to have a method that you know, that back to the basics. Tilt tall, hang your arms, connect them the way you like them. Hands grip at your hip on a chip, and then just swing it with the shoulders and a little bit with the legs. And then if you can keep your eye and your confidence, eye and confidence match up, because when you are confident, your eyes can stay still, but when you're not confident, your eyes are all over the place, your head will be all over the place. But if you can look at the ball or the ground and believe that your club will catch the ground right, then it's just like I said, rehearse the shot, trust the shot, do the shot. Good chipping to you in the future.